Hello, my name is Atarakas and welcome back to Peaky Boardgamer. I'm not really into filler games, however we've recently played Faraway here and it certainly became a massive hit for everyone. This little game is for 2 to 6 players and plays in under an hour. It will certainly burn your brain, but in the most delightful and relaxing way. I'm gonna start explaining the game right now, so don't go anywhere. Faraway is played over a series of 8 rounds. On every round, players will add one region card into their tableau and maybe also a sanctuary card. Most of the cards have a scoring potential based on objectives, and also some of these cards have prerequisites so that their scoring is effectuated. At the end of the 8th round, all players will have a row of 8 region cards which they flip facing downwards, and scoring commences. In scoring, players reveal their region cards one at a time, going from right to left, checking for objectives and prerequisites only in region cards revealed so far in scoring or in their sanctuary cards. After all cards have been scored, the player with the most victory points will win in a game of Faraway. Shuffle the region and sanctuary cards and form 2 separate face-down stacks at one side of the table. Then deal 3 region cards to each player facing downwards. Players can examine their cards but keep them secret from other players. If players are more advanced, it is suggested that each player is dealt 5 cards, and after players examine their cards, they select 3 to keep and they discard the remaining 2. Finally, reveal a number of region cards in the middle of the table equal to the number of players plus 1. So in our 4 players example, we should reveal 5 region cards in the middle of the table. The game is now ready to start. You're just one click away from supporting this channel by subscribing. If you like our videos and haven't done already, I would really appreciate if you did, as this will help the channel grow and enable me to produce more such videos. Let's start by saying that each player will play cards on a personal tableau. This tableau has 2 virtual areas. A region area with 8 card slots for region cards. On every round, players will be playing a region card in one slot, and cards will be played in order from left to right. Players also have a sanctuary area for sanctuary cards. The order of sanctuary cards has no importance. Before we proceed with the rules, let's examine the information depicted on region and sanctuary cards. All cards have a number that can range from 1 to 68 and are categorized by their color. There are 4 different colors, and by whether they are day or night cards as indicated by the ring around their value. So this here is a yellow day card, while this one is a green night card. Categorization may be important for the scoring of some cards. Speaking about scoring, most of the cards have a scoring ability depicted in their bottom part. These scoring abilities are based on the characteristics of cards you play. This card, for example, will award 2 victory points for every yellow or green card played in your tableau. This one here grants 2 victory points for every night card played in your tableau. This card will grant you 3 victory points for every thistle resource played in your region. There are 3 different resource icons: thistles, chimeras, and stones. These are found in the top right corner of cards. This card here simply grants you 16 victory points, and this card here has no scoring potential, but will supply you with the chimera and the thistle resource. Also, most of the cards have additional prerequisites depicted here in order to be scored, so you will not gain these 16 points unless you have 2 stones and 2 chimeras in your play area. Finally, some region cards depict a clue icon here, which help players access more sanctuary cards. Sanctuary cards can also be categorized as one of the 4 different colors. They can be night cards, offer resource icons, clue symbols, and of course, some of them also have scoring abilities. The game is played over a series of 8 rounds. Every round consists of 3 phases. Phase 1 is exploring a region. Phase 2 is finding sanctuaries, and Phase 3 is the end of the exploration. In the first phase, players examine their cards and secretly select one of them and play it in the leftmost empty region card slot of their tableau, facing downwards. When all players are done, players reveal their selected card simultaneously. This brings us to the second phase of the round, finding sanctuary. In this phase, players check if the card they have revealed during this round has a higher value than the card they revealed in the previous round, and if so, they will gain sanctuary cards. Apparently, this cannot happen during the first round, since all players only have one played region card in their tableau. So let's explain this phase using an example of a later round. This here is the third round of the game, and we can see a player's play area. These here are the region cards played in the previous 2 rounds, and this card is the region card for the current round. This player has also played a sanctuary card in a previous round. So, at the end of the first phase, players reveal their selected card. Now in the second phase, this player finds that the card revealed has a higher value than the card played in the previous round. This means that the player will gain one sanctuary card plus another one for every clue symbol depicted in all their play area. So, another 3 cards. Of course, if the value of the region card played during that round was not higher than the previous card, then the player will gain no sanctuary card this round. In the third phase, end of the exploration, all players will gain one new card from the middle of the table. This is done in order according to the value of the card played by players. The first player to pick a card is the player who played the card with the lowest value. So in our case, this player here. The card is added to the player's hand. Next will be that player who played 47, then will be this player, and finally that player will take a card. The remaining card is discarded. At this point, all players that have received sanctuary cards in the previous phase must choose one of them to play in their sanctuary area, and they must discard the rest. As a final step, you replenish the middle of the table with new region cards from the supply, and you proceed with the next round. In scoring, players first flip all their region cards facing downwards. Sanctuary cards remain facing upwards. Now all players will start revealing cards one at a time, going from right to left, and they will keep their score for every card using this scoring pad. I will rearrange the row of region cards of that player so we can have a better look. The first card revealed scores 2 victory points for every knight card and also has a prerequisite of 1 stone. Prerequisites and scoring can only be affected by cards that are revealed so far during scoring. The prerequisite of this card is satisfied by the stone depicted on this sanctuary card. So scoring of this card applies and the player gains 4 victory points for these 2 knight cards. The player then reveals the next card. This card has no scoring potential, so the player gains 0 points. Let's reveal the next card. This card can score 9 victory points, but requires 2 chimera icons, and the player so far has only 1 icon. So the player gains no points from this card as well. Let's move on to the fourth card. This card has no prerequisite, and the player will score 2 points for every chimera icon visible in the play area so far. There are 2 such icons, and the player gains 4 victory points for this card. Let's move to the fifth card. Again, there is no prerequisite, and the player will gain 2 victory points for every knight card visible. Now we have 3 knight cards visible, and the player gains 6 points. Let's go to the sixth card. The prerequisite here is 2 thistles and 1 chimera, which is satisfied with the cards revealed. So the player scores 3 victory points for every stone icon. There are 4 stone icons and the player gains 12 victory points. Let's move to the 7th card. This one requires 3 thistles, which again is satisfied. This card scores 3 victory points for every yellow or blue card visible. There are 4 such cards, and again the player scores 12 victory points. Let's reveal the last card. This one has no prerequisites and will score 1 victory point for every clue symbol depicted on cards. There are 4 symbols depicted and the player scores 4 victory points. Finally, the player scores victory points from scoring abilities on their sanctuary cards. The first one scores 4 victory points for every set of all 4 different colors. The player has achieved 2 such sets and gains 8 victory points. The second one scores 1 victory point for every clue symbol, so another 4 points. And this one scores 1 point for every blue card, so another 2 points. So 14 points from sanctuary cards. Players tally up their scores and the player with the highest total wins the game. If there is a tie, then the tied player with the lowest card value among their cards wins the tie. And that were the rules of Faraway. If you like our videos and want to see more, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, have fun and play more board games.